tonight, and I'm glad you could come on and join us tonight.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
So, COVID has changed a lot of things. And how are you surviving through this whole COVID stuff?
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Personally,
No, it's interesting because everyone wants an animal, which is great.
yeah,
Everyone like in the beginning popped up. Everyone wanted to foster because people were like working from home suddenly. And a lot of people want to adopt and still do because I mean, animals are awesome, and especially when you're at home, you gotta have someone to talk to. So the demand for adoption went way up. There was a lot of logistics, I mean, you've been to the shelter, we're
oh,
tiny,
sure.
so
Mhm.
social distancing is not possible. So we had to upend the whole way we do business, from the intake to the vetting to adoption. So we had to switch up everything. And then, try to stay away from your coworkers, and keep each other safe, which again, in that tiny space has been a bit of a challenge, but we're making it work. So it's, we're limping along.
So, did adoptions go up for you at
Well,
Baypath?
adoptions are almost exactly where they were before. But that in and of itself is like a success because everything's harder. We have less volunteers. Some of our volunteers, will come back when they can, but right now, just for a variety of reasons, whether they have kids at home or just their own health, they can't. So less volunteers. We have an online application instead of like where you used to be able to just walk in, meet the animals, talk to us, like,
Sure.
let's match make. Now it's like all online, and um it's a lot more work because someone's applying to get a dog from us, but they're applying to like six other places, which is fair. We get that. But like we're doing all this administrative work because we will not receive an app. And this is what I hear, from people is that they reach out to many places and they're not hearing back. And we're not going to do that. But in order to respond and give everyone the respect they deserve, it's a lot of administrative work.
Right.
So it's shifted. But to say that since the pandemic started, we've taken in, cared for, and placed over 800 animals. We're really kind of blown away to look at those numbers. So yeah, we're about where we were before. The demand is incredible, and I know all my constituents at other shelters are the same thing. Just trying to keep up with the demand and keep people happy. And we know, like, so many people are frustrated because they can't come in and meet the animals, and they look at an animal that's gone before they can get a hold of us. But we're doing the best we can, and people seem pretty happy, I think.
Well, what's tough is because you always had the open door policy. Because I remember many times that we would be filming a show with you, like with Mary McLeod,
Yeah.
and we're filming, and as we're talking, doing an interview, people would just like walk by us.
Yeah.
And it was great because the facility is so small, but you do such a big work,
Yeah.
and it just happens that way. So, one of the things that happened during this time of year where you had all these volunteers, you had all the staff, and now COVID comes in, and it makes people hold back. You had to change everything to meet the governor's orders. You had to stop the donations. You had to stop rescuing animals. And but did it seem like, because myself, and I'm going to tell you a little story later, but did it seem like more people wanted to adopt because they were stuck at home and they wanted pets?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. And people are so worried that, like, oh my God, like, are people going to give up all the animals when they go back to work? And first of all, because just by the very nature of our process over the years, we really try to bring down the barriers to adoption. People are like, oh, it's like applying to Harvard to get an animal. And we try to chip away at that by having, again, the open, come in, talk to us. Like, it's less about filling out and writing a thesis on why you think you should have a pet and just having conversations. Now, because we can't have those, there indirectly are some more barriers. And so I tell people, like our donors and supporters that are worried about just people getting animals on a whim, you can't, because Now our process is so drawn out. You have to do this online. You have to reach out. We'll send you an online app. We'll send you all this information. Then we're going to do maybe a Zoom matchmaking call or phone call. And then you're going to come
Right.
and we're going to have you meet a specific animal. So we took all, we took the whim all the way out of it. So I think our adoptions are actually more quality. We're getting great people, and just this community. This is just we just happen to be in a fabulous community with, by and large, most of the people are great to begin with. They've had animals before. They may be adopted from us before, but they're also getting like our focus. Cause like you said, like I remember being out there with you and I'd have to like stop to, to talk to someone who's equally awesome, trying to bring us, food or some linens or something. But it's disruptive. And, when we would have these Saturdays with like all these puppies and, you had to do like a gather around everybody. And so now you're getting appointment based and you're getting more personal touches. And I did, I felt it was incumbent upon me in my role to send out a survey towards the end of the summer. And we sent it out to about 200 adopters, like, how do we do with matchmaking? Did you feel like your safety was considered? Did you feel like your expectations were managed? And I always say to people, people who fill out surveys or, like reviews, they're either really happy or really pissed off, right? I mean, there's nothing in between. And so everyone who answered it, and we got like 120 people to respond, which is again, really great for a response rate. Everyone was psyched, little, maybe little pointers here or there, but everyone felt their safety was considered, that their expectations were managed, that we listened to them. And, especially right now where everyone's frustrated and you don't know what's going to happen in the world, like we're doing our, we're trying to make it so that everyone knows, like you might not get the animal, but we'll find you one, right?
Right. So with the animals that you care for, and you rely on a huge volunteer base, just like HCAM.
Yep.
We rely on our volunteers. How have you survived with limiting access to your volunteers because of COVID?
Yeah, well, because a couple of things. Because of our huge foster network, if we have a dog or cat needing more attention, they can go out to foster, which frees up our resources back at the shelter. And even ones that are like, even our challenging animals are going so quickly. We had a dog recently. I got a call from our partner at she does Grafton Westboro Animal Control, and she's like, we've been tracking this Akita for a month. She's on the loose. She's like, we think we're going to be able to trap her. If we trap her, can we bring her? And I'm like, oh, a feral Akita, yes, bring her. So they get her like the next day and they bring her down in a truck. And, it was like a US Marshal escort because we didn't want to lose her into the building. And like the next day turns out she was like 9 months old, but like even more horrifying that she was in Shrewsbury, Millbury, and Grafton for the entire month of December. Everyone saw her, no one could get her. Everyone thought she was like a coyote. Anyway, she got adopted in like a week, so this was a dog that was like, like feral for a month. And, all you chucking chicken and helping her settle in and she's gone. So that really helps cut down on like all the resources we need when these animals are just finding these fabulous homes. But then we also have like, because you've been great to come out to like some of the educational talks we would do. Of course, we can't do those. So those volunteers.
Which we miss because they are so, the speakers that you would get were so well renowned, and they would spend that time just to come out to the community to talk.
Yeah. We'll be back and we'll drag you back out there.
Oh yeah, we're ready. And, hey, if you want to get them and do it through Zoom, we'll talk.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to do that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But like those volunteers that do the outreach and the education and go into the schools for us and the library, and they are not doing that right now. So they've come in kind of in to help us process applications and keep things moving. So we've kind of redirected our talent, so to speak. So we're making do. We're definitely making do.
So now here's a tough time. Yeah. You do not have a lot of money. You rely on fundraising.
Right.
And you've done so many different fundraisers. And all those fundraisers you had to stop because it all involved people being together. Yeah. What are you doing now to raise funds?
I'm gonna sell a kidney. No, no, people have been really generous. I haven't ruled it out, but no, people have been really generous. We are very, we're part of our business. The adoption fees help, but that's not our, profit center. It is, to your point, individual donations largely. A lot of company matches. Like most animal shelters don't get like big corporations sponsoring
Sure,
them. They're
sure.
usually human charities, but we have a couple of foundations who support us. But the donations have been really good. People have been very kind. We've had people joke like, well, here's my trip to Europe that I was never going to take, that I'm not going to be able to take. So that's been really great. Obviously that can only go on for so long. People have to worry about their own life with this ongoing, pandemic, but
Right.
people have been good so far. Obviously, we're not going to be, our fur ball is our biggest fundraiser, which is every March. It's
Very
about
much. I know.
400. Yeah, because you guys have promoted it for us, about
Absolutely.
450 people. Some like we sell out. Not
Yeah.
going to happen this year, but we're hopeful. We have a golf tournament in June, and I know a lot of people that are playing golf throughout this. So I'm hoping we can pull that off by June, and then our 5K in the state park. But yeah, we're okay. We'll be okay, but we need to keep, we just keep the appeals going and justify the need, which, every time we ask, people aren't like, I can't believe you're asking. I mean, they see, it's directly proportional to what we're able to do, the number of cases we can say yes to, a lot. And we don't see a ton of, people ask, are you seeing a ton of like eviction kind of things? And again, just by where we live relative to the world, we, I mean, we're in Central Mass, but there are always people in need. So we're not seeing a tremendous amount of that, but yeah, we're taking cats out of abandoned and the Worcester area. We've been finding that. We work with a couple of people down in Brockton. We always work with our Grafton Westboro partner, obviously Hopkinton. We've had some Hopkinton strays. We've had some, like a golden retriever that was just, nobody ever claimed it, which was stunning. We work with Ashland and Holliston animal control officer. So there's stuff happening everywhere, pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, post-pandemic. We've done a couple of law enforcement cases. We just had 2 dogs finally clear their law enforcement case that went on since June. They both got adopted. They were both in foster homes. So, but there's always stuff,
Yeah, exactly. It like myself, and my little story was when I adopted a 9.5-year-old rescue, and she wound up having cancer, and I had to put it down at the end of February of last year.
Yeah.
And it was like devastating for me, but I knew I gave her the best 4 months of her life. And so that was the end of February. March comes, pandemic's here, things shut down, and I was able to adopt a new dog, my Kaya.
I remember that.
You know Kaya. You see my Facebook, I know. And so getting Kaya at the 1st of April was a huge thing, which made me feel fantastic. It's like, did I rescue her? Or did she rescue me? Yeah, she rescued me. We know the truth. We know these songs. And seeing and hearing the news of all these humane societies, all these shelters are empty.
Yeah.
Well, how's that feel?
It's crazy. It's because we know, we've got some really great partners. We're really committed for a small shelter. We're not the MSPCA, we're not ARL, but for a small shelter, we still feel like we owe it to our community. So we work with our local animal control officers. We work with Charles River Alley Cats out of Boston. We work with our shelters all around. We just took a dog from New Hampshire shelter. Like, we try to really take care of local too, but we do have some great partners in the South, and that's where the need is. And we have one great group out of Texas, and Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, West Virginia, and we know that they are overflowing, and so we try to just keep it moving.
So yeah, and keeping things moving, and and doing everything that you do. And we know how small you are
Yeah.
at, now we call it Legacy Farm North
Right. Right.
instead of Rafferty Road,
Happy.
which I was very happy to be a part of
Yeah.
because I was so lucky to be involved into building your facility, doing the site work, doing the septic system there. That meant a lot to me back
Yeah.
long time, way before you. And but Baypath is growing, and we're looking for new locations.
Yep.
Tell us about how that process is going.
Well, yeah, 4 and 5 years ago. No, it was five. No, now it'll be 6 years ago. Our board chair Susan, who lives here in town, and
Yep.
I walked into. We had talked with Norman those years ago, and Jamie Helen, who used to work at the town.
Yep.
But, we had for some reason before I was here, like the animal control contract in Hopkinton was run out of Framingham. So I'm like,
Framingham.
why are we
It
doing
was
that?
Framingham, yeah.
Like, let's bring it on home, bring it on. Because, but just by the nature of our location, people find animals. They call us anyway, because
Right.
we're here, right? So it's like, let's just come on.
Yeah.
Well, so we did that. And then like I got to know the people in the town. And then I'm like, ooh, hey guys. So and they were great. And so the first thing was zoning, because we're grandfathered in, we're on Eversource property. So Susan and I, we made a little PowerPoint about, justifying the need. We started in Hopkinton in 1977. And the shelter was built in 87, I think. But, and it still gets it done today. But, like you said, we want to offer more services and stuff. So time to maybe look for something else. But so we went into this meeting, and it was the zoning advisory committee. And I remember it was John Catino, and I was the head of it or whatever. And Susan and I presenting, and like, and we, and we do this, and we do, and we got the hook. But it was a good hook, because they're like, all right, like we want to help, they're like, stop, just sit down. So they helped us move on to planning committee. And then we went to town meeting in 2016 to, or was it 2015, 2016, to change change zoning laws to allow for a shelter, provided that you met, like you weren't just going to plop in the middle of a development and have
Right.
dogs barking, that you had at least 3 acres and sound mitigation and, lights were important, stuff like that. And then it was the town meeting of May 7th, 2017, that they put an article in the warrant to allow, we went in with the Boy Scouts. We've always been hand in hand with the Boy Scouts, like a municipal land lease for a period of time, provided again that you meet all the criteria. And so that went through, and then the RFP was released last 2019 in July of 2019. It was going to be due in November, and we got that in.
Right.
It was like a 56 page, it was like a draft lease in there. We put back 160, or we've submitted 166 page response that obviously, we mocked up the lease or whatever, redlined it. But we had already, knowing that this was coming, we had already put out our own RFPs for capital campaign consultants and also architects, because we knew that, this is a big deal. This is going to be something that hopefully is there for 30, 50, whatever years. So it wasn't going to be like, Uncle Joe's an architect. Like we wanted to get a shelter architect. So we RFP'd around, and we chose shelter architects based out of Houston, who have built shelters all over the country. So anyway, that involved flying them up. They walked Fruit Street with us. We did like an 8-hour session, subsequent phone calls, a couple of different drawings, because the town obviously wants to know what the heck you're going to put on the land. We ran a feasibility study ahead of a capital campaign to test a project cost. And we had to do 10-year pro forma financials. We are lucky that we have a contract attorney on our board. We have a certified financial planner. We have 2 CPAs, one of whom is a nonprofit auditor who specializes in, how to play that game. Because for me, it's like, Monopoly, like 10 years of financials, like whatever. But, we had people that actually understand like what that would actually look like. We brought in an infrastructure consultant on like, okay, you got a bigger building, like you got to think about how much more heat is or electricity, and the town has been great. John Westerling, Eric Carty, like everyone's awesome. Norman Elaine, like everyone's been so supportive. Obviously, the pandemic put that by the wayside, but it was the week before Charlie Baker shut down in March that we got chosen for the piece of land, which is
Right.
now contingent on lease negotiations. Which
So tell everyone where that piece of land is.
it's Fruit Street, so by the soccer fields. It's parcel 8, but it's as you
Yep.
go towards the soccer fields, it's over to the left. And I think they're doing like a dog park over to the right or something.
Correct. Yes. The seven dog park, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'd be over there, and I believe the Boy Scouts got a lease on that piece of property too. So we're all going to be just running around there. But we're very cognizant of being good neighbors. We do not want anyone upset with us, and it's set back. And we're cognizant of the water. I'm very aware of the aquifers and where the water is.
I mean, being a good neighbor, I don't think that's ever been an issue. What always scared me was because I know how small Rafferty Road, or now you're at Legacy Farm North, but where you are now, all your volunteers having to walk up it's Legacy North now, but it used to be Rafferty, and you walk down Wilson Street and do the neighborhoods and whatever.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, and they're really great. All your volunteers walking the dogs really took it upon themselves to be careful, and they were always great. Where like they wore vests.
Yeah.
They made it know that, hey, we are walking dogs here, and so much tough. But now Fruit Street, which big parcel of land that the town bought for bigger and better things, and I can't think of a better place for you guys to be at, which is nice.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. And even like even on Rafferty Legacy North, like we've cut down, like just animal sheltering in general has evolved a lot too. Like there's so many dogs that come in. Like walking is good and it's part of the deal, but like we've had a lot of success also, like with enrichment and training and just sitting with the dog, because it's funny, people would come, we used to do this walk, but like teach an animal how to chill out, or teach an animal like sit, or just give them like a little food puzzle or something to stimulate them.
Right.
No, people come in, if they tell you they're going to walk their dog 5 times a day, they're lying. Like no one walks their dog 5 times a day.
No,
so, like, we could do other things with them.
Yeah, so it's great, because one of the times that we did a little show, a Meet Your Neighbor show with you in the other room, it's like, this is where we will bring some dogs in to spend a little time with them.
Yep.
There's a lot more involved than just walking a dog.
Absolutely.
And in the kennel situation, that's where they have to live and sleep. I get that.
Yeah.
But you also had a little building, I'm going to call it a building. You had a little building to like take care of these dogs on the side.
Yes.
And that's not always easy, because you had so many, but you can't fit so many in there. The work that you did to get all these animals and use that little space, the management was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, the dogs in shelter, a lot of the people I talk to that work in sheltering, like there are very few lassies in shelters these days, like just by the nature of, like, I'm not talking about like Craigslist, but I'm talking about like local closed social media groups. Like if you have a dog, like a great family dog, and you need to give it up, like someone knows someone who's going to take your dog. So like by and large, we're getting, we do get great dogs, and I don't want to make this the whole thing like we get maniacs, like no, but we get dogs that like mostly minor, but behavior stuff. They're jumpy, they're mouthy, they're adolescent, they're not trained. So like a dog like that, if it's going to go off on a walk and it's just going to jump up at your leash and eventually start ripping your shirt, that does no one any good. By the way, the dog's not enjoying it either. So why don't you take the dog in the back pen and do some little training things or stuff like that. So we've really evolved, because we have to, because that's that's the population of animals we see that need a little more behavior work. And our volunteers have done so well at just understanding behavior, because that's the future. Like, we are so great about spay and neuter in Massachusetts that we have to import cats now, like never mind dogs. So we don't have a pet overpopulation problem here. And even the South, like some of our partners don't even send to us anymore because Kentucky developed their own, our Kentucky group has their own program now. They don't need us, which is great, right? But so the dogs you see a lot of the times are the ones that used to not get the shot at coming up, like the older ones or the medical or the behavior. So we've had to evolve. And so, yeah, like that room we use or the training space is as important as walking them.
So now, as you evolve and as Baypath will evolve, what do you see yourself doing now? Here we are. We went through a pandemic, and we're still going through the pandemic. And this is why I'm asking you to tell the viewers that are watching right now, what can people here in town help you to do?
I mean, people have been great. I mean, I don't know what else we could ask of this town. I mean, from the administration to just like you guys in the local media and just people in town and on the social media groups spreading the word about our animals in need, stuff we need, just support for our future. We've been Sean McAuliffe, God only knows what his life is like right now. But before
he's crazy. He's on with us all the time. It's crazy.
On a swivel, he put me in touch with Cheryl Ann at Project Just Because, and we've been able to partner together. And Middlesex Bank sponsors our partnership so that we can make sure they have what they need. I can't say enough about this town of Hopkinton. It's unreal, and so we're really grateful that we're going to be able to stay in it for the long.
So now, if I have donations, because for instance, I went on Chewy.com to buy Kaya some stuff, which was amazing. But one of her things that I bought was like way too small. And so when I wrote back to Chewy, it says, this is the wrong size. It's too small. Oh, don't give it to us. Donate it to a local shelter. So how do you guys still take donations?
Oh, perfect. Perfect question. We have a table at the end of the driveway for contact-free drop-off. And there's, for people who want receipts, it says the email to, because some people,
text,
which is fine. A lot of times we're outside anyway, so I end up seeing half the people and talking to them. And you feel bad because they're like pulling stuff out of their car, and you're like, I don't want to get too close. I don't want to help you because I don't want to get too close. I mean, I want to help you, but I don't want to get that close. But people have been great. They load up our table all the time. And again, that's the kind of thing, like I always tell people will be like, oh, can you use this or that? Like, we don't waste anything. If we can't use it, maybe Project Just Because can, or maybe our Southern partners can, or our friends in Brockton or somewhere can. So we don't waste anything. We find someone with an animal.
Yeah. So what does Baypath need right now? What can we do to help Baypath today?
I think just keeping an eye on anyone who can share. We beg people to like us on social media if you can share any of the animals in need. We put when we need things, like if we're having like a bunch of kittens in and we need kitten supplies or something, we try not to be too asking for too much because people are really great. We have a wish list on our website at all times. That's one of the things.
Say the website. Tell people the website.
Yep. www.baypathhumane.org. So unfortunately, our volunteer program is on hold right now because we can't do orientations. Mm-hmm. But we're always looking for fosters. When the volunteer program can open up again, towels, linens, we blow through them. Food for the animals. I mean, we always have food, but it's always people give us some great stuff, and
right.
It's just people are great. So and the stuff's on the website, like the wish list and whatnot.
All right, Liz, thank you very much for taking the time to come out, even though you say you don't get out much.
None
of us do. Nobody does. But thank you very much for taking the time and tell us all about Baypath. Everyone needs to know. Keep the messages coming to us. We'll keep promoting you.
All right, thanks. Good to see you, Mike. Hope to see you soon.
Yes, bye. We'll see you soon. See you soon in real life instead of the computer stuff. But thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So that was Liz Jeffries from Baypath Humane Society. Jim, what an organization they are, huh?
Yeah, they really are. They really are. It's really nice to hear about them.
That's awesome. And speaking about great organizations, another group in town is the Hopkins Lions Club. And with us now is Michael Tarsi and Bill Mensch. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hey,
Mike.
Mike,
How you doing
how you
tonight?
doing?
Doing fantastic. Love to have you guys out because the Lions Club, you know, a lot of people see the signs when they come in and out of town, and that's all they know about the Lions Club. But there's so much more.
Oh, yeah, it's, oh, Mike, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
So, Mike, tell us, what does the Lions Club do?
Okay, well, the Lions Club, at least the Hopkinton Club, is part of it's an international organization. So Lions are literally around the world. I couldn't even tell you the number of countries that they're currently involved with. But I've attended virtually meetings like a Canada, United States Lions meeting, and there were hundreds of people that attended this one. Massachusetts has 5 districts. I attended a district meeting where 80 people showed up. So Lions are I think it's probably the largest service organization in the world, and it is spread out over the world. Now, it was started with a focus on eye health, and so there's a lot to do with eyeglasses, with eye screening and all that. And we actually contribute a little bit to that. We've got contacts and drop boxes in 5 or 6 areas around town where we'll go and we'll pick up recycled eyeglasses. I'll box them up. I'll send them to a place who will then refurbish them and send them on and put them to good use. So,
Right.
so we're doing that. We've even hosted, one of the members has contacts into the medical industry. And so we've hosted a diabetes workshop where we took the room this was pre-COVID, but we took the meeting room there at the library. I guess it was the old church, and had a doctor speak, an eye doctor come in and speak, and just talk a little bit about issues with diabetes. So that's part of what we're trying to do. In addition to that, we're just kind of a general service organization. So wherever we think we can step in and help around town and make a difference, we do. December happened to be a pretty busy month for us. We despite COVID, we hosted 2, I thought, were pretty neat events. One is a yearly speech contest that is held where the Lions, and again, this is Massachusetts wide, a topic gets picked. And I think this year the topic is winning everything. And we promoted it at the school. We got 4 high school students who were interested in it. We set up a Zoom meeting, and each one of them had their 8 minutes to make their little presentation. The judges rated them on various qualities of the speech, and the winner then participated in kind of the next level, working up to the state tournament, which would be held in like a month or 2. So I think that was a very good effort we put out to get the high school students engaged in things. And another thing that we did was we held a Santa Day. Again, with COVID, we had to do this outside. We almost didn't do it because our original Santa had COVID. So at the last minute, we scrambled and were able to dig up a Santa suit and hold this. But we held this for, we've termed it special needs children. These are children who get excited in high pressure, high tense, high noise situations. So we've tried to have a very low key event. We had 10 families show up. St. John's in town here let us use their parking lot. And so the families would drive up, and we did the whole mask and social distancing thing. But the kids just loved it. The parents enjoyed it. So things like that, we try to get involved with around town just to add a little bit to the town.
Well, that's fantastic. And I love to hear you talk about the speech contest because, as Jim and I know, HCAM loved being involved with the Lions on the speech contest.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I mean, we were able, back before COVID, of course, we were able to host those shows at our studio, which just getting people in our studio we enjoyed. So that was nice to hear that you were able to continue that.
Yeah, we felt really lucky that we were able to pull it off, because there again, with COVID and our inexperience at that point with things like Zoom and whatnot, we were wondering if we could actually pull it off, and we did. And I think the other clubs in the area, Holliston, Ashland, so are doing the, I don't know about Ashland, but the clubs in the area are doing the same thing, and I think it's been it's been good. I think it was a learning experience for us, but again, it was good for the students.
So now, of course, you have Hopkinton Lions, and Lions are in usually every town, every state, all over the place, and whatever. So, Bill, can you tell us how do you become a Lion?
Become a Lion? Well, yeah, it's been kind of difficult lately. Usually we like to invite potential new members to some of our activities, but yeah, it's pretty easy to become a Lion, and we're going to outreach to people, through our website, Facebook, and yeah, basically, the dues are minimal, and you just have to kind of be committed to basically, help the community, and we do that by raising funds, service projects, etc. So in the future, some people might think about, the last several years we've been involved with the Hopkinton Family Day, and we ran the dunk tank, and that probably is one of the most popular events.
Oh, sure, because you guys get some great celebrities to come in there to be dunked.
Yeah, we had, past select board member John Catino. We also had Ted Stone, Brian.
Ted Stone, yeah.
Ted Stone. Actually, last time we had it, Mike volunteered as a donkey too.
Yeah.
And we don't get any funds off that, but again, we're providing a service to the community. And yes, but yeah, we're always looking for new members. For example, Mike is probably one of our newest members, and by getting new members, we can do more activities. But also, Mike has brought kind of enthusiasm, new energy to the club, and plus some fresh new ideas too. So yeah, anybody, young adults, older adults, if they're willing to just, put a little time in and help us, run our service activities. And I always tell people when they join an activity that, some of the younger members, they have family and they're working full time, so those are the top priorities. But whatever you can give to the club, is much welcome.
Right, and I agree with you. Any kind of volunteer organization, just like HCAM, we have our volunteers in the bases. Everybody has their volunteers, and you try to keep things fresh, try to keep things that people can actually spend that time to do. And it's hard today, especially with COVID. What kind of changes did you have to make to try to get people in during the COVID seasons?
Well, I can jump in on this one. As Bill said, it's a little tough to get in contact with people. There was no family day this last year, so we weren't visible there. So we've made sure that our website is up to date and current. So I think now may be the chance to plug that. It's hopkintonlions.org. Also on Facebook, I think it's also Hopkinton Lions, and we've got a hopkintonlions@gmail.com email. So on the website, there's a couple pages. It talks about all the activities that we're involved with. It talks about recent things and things coming up. There is I think we've got a page about we're interested in new members, and so there's a little not form fell out, but yeah, here's give us your email address and we'll contact.
If you don't mind, I'm going to share your page. There's your page right there.
Very good.
A few handsome fellas I recognize there. Mr. Mark Woodard and oh my God, look at all these guys. There's Chesmore.
Yeah,
hey, Bill, you look at handsome.
Yeah, Don Cronin's there, and Nancy.
Donnie Cronin, yeah.
Yeah. So and actually that was a picture from one of the Santa days that we did while we were still able to hold it indoors. So yes, and as a matter of fact, just this last month we've gotten email from somebody who looked at the website and said they're interested in joining. So we're inviting her to the upcoming meeting, and that way she can get a chance to see what it's like. But But yeah, it's actually been there's a good group of people there. I think the membership now is down from what it was. I think Bill can correct me here, but I think the club started in the 70s or the 80s and had a good run. And then I think people age out and people move out and things like that. So we're down to about 10 to 12 people right now. But as Bill said, I joined along with another fellow a couple of years ago. I'm finding that's a good way for me to get plugged into town. I'm relatively new in town. I've been here 4 or 5 years, but we've got folks who have been with the club for dozens of years, new ones. There's a couple women in the club. It's a very, very good balance of people, and I think it touches all parts of the Hopkinton community.
So Bill, what do you look for into volunteers? What kind of, just somebody that wants to join, what kind of things, can you do in the Lions Club?
Yeah, there's all kinds of things. For example, when I joined the club back in 1999, I still had 2 young kids at home, and so I was kind of restricted to maybe get to some of the major service projects. But now I volunteered to become the treasurer, and that was something I could, do at home while watching my, young kids. So I was able to help the club. And then as the kids got older, I found more time to actually do some of the events we were kind of known for. In the past, as Mike was saying, we used to do the Christmas tree sales, behind Colella's, or now I guess it's CVS.
Yeah.
We also used to run the pancake breakfast on Marathon Monday, and of course after 2001 or the 9/11 or whatever, that became kind of a triage center.
Right.
But yeah, there's all kinds of things, and as I said before, Mike, some of the activities we also did a couple of years ago. We did a grocery dash. We first did one at Old Colella's, and we did one at Price Chopper.
Yes.
But now we're living in a virtual world, so we're trying to see if maybe we could do that virtually, and we're trying to come up with other projects too.
Well, one of my favorites growing up was the father-daughter dance.
Oh yeah, I used to share that.
Oh my, yes, I remember, and I still have, and I got them in my house. I wish I could pull them out right now. With my 2 daughters, I get the Polaroid pictures of us, because you set up a little, because you guys partnered with Polaroid at the time, and you had the pictures of the father and daughters in a nice little setting, and it was a big dance. It was all done in October.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun planning that, and it was just so nice to see the dads and their daughters, and sometimes the mom would show up because the dad would be out of town or whatever, but. Yeah, it was a very festive event. We'd have a great, DJ with great music, and it was just a fun atmosphere. Yeah, we do kind of miss that, but as Mike was saying, we lost some of our older members, so we downsized. We couldn't really do some of the things we used to do, so I made sure that event, went on. So I turned that over to the HPTA, and they took it over. And then, of course, when we used to do the Christmas tree sales, we turned that over to the Boy Scouts, and they've done well with that too.
Right. Yeah, they really did, because yes, it was always the Lions Club that did it. The Scouts helped, and you had the participation from the Hilla baseball varsity team that would unload the trees for you to set up. And it's just like any other membership as it gets older. How do you reinvent yourself, which is tough, because the organizations I joined, I find myself being too busy to be. Like, I want to be in Kiwanis. I want to be in Lions. I want to do this. But it's like life just has us so busy right now that if I can't give my time, it's not fair. Why should I volunteer if I can't give the right amount of time to the group? It's not good. So mixing that up, it must be really difficult.
Yeah, I found that there's a lot of people that are, very busy in town. As I said before, if, for a new member, you don't have to dedicate all, your whole life to the Lions Club. Because I know a lot of people, And I'm really impressed with the people in Hopkinton. They really get involved in all kinds of activities like the HPTA, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, etc. But if you join the Lions Club, yeah, if you can make 1 or 2 events and show up to some meetings, pay your dues,
Yeah.
come up with some new ideas, that's fine. So you don't necessarily have to give up, your life to be a Lion.
Right.
Just
Now-
what you can do.
Now is your group still working with the Ashland Lions, which seems to be a little bit more active?
Yeah, we do partner with the Ashland Lions. They are actually, we actually grew out of the Ashland Lions, or they basically helped us get our charter back in 1975. And so they've
Right.
been a tremendous help to us. And sometimes, yeah, if we don't have enough people, we'll sometimes partner with another club like Ashland or Holliston, and we'll maybe help them, with event. Holliston has a big, carnival in the summertime too.
Yes.
So we've gone
Yes.
down and helped them with that too. So yeah, it's nice. Each club helps each other, whenever we may be short on manpower.
Yeah, because everybody wants to see the other club succeed, and they don't want to see anything go. Because I remember being around town a little bit, knowing all the players and so forth. And Lions closed, and Ashland says, "Oh no, let's pick you guys back up again." And it's so nice to see that it's not a competition; it's all about the community service, and that's what you guys promote the most, because all you want to do is serve, and that's what is great about all these communities in town, especially the Lions.
Yeah, I think, I believe that, the Lions are really a city-based organization. So, we just have Hopkinton members and all that. But with the involvement, again, I've seen with some of the meetings I've been at, even with this speech contest, you get online and I'm realizing everybody knows everybody else. So even though they're all different clubs, you can tell that all these clubs have interacted quite a bit in the past, and there's a lot of ideas, I think, that are shared between the groups. I think there's, in non-COVID times, there's a lot of get-togethers and dinners and stuff that are hosted by multiple cities at the same time. So while we are specifically focused on Hopkinton, I definitely feel like this is plugged in at a larger level in the state, and that's very good.
So, how much do you guys do it? Because everyone knows, well, for the most part, Lions are famous for the eye care and the iMobile and so forth. Do you make an event that involves it? Is that like a national thing that you set up like eye exams or eyeglass collections?
I'll let me jump in, and then Bill can probably fill in more details. So
Okay.
yeah, as I mentioned, I think we've got between the post office, the optometrist across the street from the post office, the bank, Middlesex Bank downtown, the
Senior Center.
the senior center, and the optometrist. Sorry, the name's escaping. The one right next to the Dragon restaurant right now. We've got pickup boxes there, and every month or so we'll make the rounds and empty the boxes out. And we must have last year, I think we donated 700 pairs of eyeglasses, to the greater Lions good. I'm finding out from these meetings that yes, there are things like iMobiles, but there's also portable eye scanning and testing devices and whatnot. And I personally, and this is where I'll need Bill's help, I haven't gotten plugged in yet, but I'm seeing that the Lions as a statewide and international organization do have the resources to get this kind of equipment that can be used. And then I think it's a matter of the individual clubs trying to work with the larger group to take advantage of that for their local goods. Bill, I don't know if you got anything to add there.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the Lions Club, one of our 5 global causes is vision, and that's kind of what we were founded by. In fact, Helen Keller, one of the first meetings a long time ago, and Lions Club just started, inspired at an annual convention to become kind of Knights for the Blind. So as Mike was saying, yeah, we have a District 33K iMobile unfortunately with COVID, it's just kind of sitting in a parking lot, or actually
yeah.
over at Tony Minucci's Auto Body.
I saw it over there. Yes, I did.
But several times we've actually brought it to Hopkinton, outside the senior center, and yeah, they'll do eye exams and some other testing too. So we're looking forward to getting that back, and bring it into Hopkinton, or it's basically mobile, so it can go just about anywhere. And another thing with regards to what we've done for eyesight is raising funds. So Mass Lions Eye Research, they basically helped with like millions of dollars with grants. Of course, everybody's heard of Mass Eye and Ear. So this past year, of course, she had to do it basically virtually. We had a woman, Heather Lemire, who works for Dell EMC here in Hopkinton. She was a runner for us, and so she ran and she raised $5,300, which went directly to Mass Lions Eye Research and stuff. So that's one of our missions, and some of the other areas that Lions International does as far as global causes is, as Mike mentioned, we had a thing on diabetes, hunger, the environment, and childhood cancer. So besides vision, we've taken on those other 4 areas too. But when it comes to service, yeah, anything we can help the community. And one of our big partners has become, Project Just Because. We've helped them out immensely with a lot of donations too, or help them do their inventory, et cetera.
Yeah, that's great. Because, the purpose that I reached out to you to come on the show was a lot of people just see the sign when they come into town, and they don't really understand. They don't understand the Mason sign. They don't understand all those club signs. They don't know what it really means, but they don't know what service means to the community. And Lions is all about service, and nothing but service to our communities in many, many ways. So, real quickly, and Mike got me on this the other day because he caught my name on an email from somewhere else that he saw that I was involved with the Ashland Lions. And because our fire department in Ashland, our Lions Club was doing Coats for Kids. And I was a contact for that. And we did another fundraiser and so forth. So he says, "Oh, you're involved." And I says, "Well, we love it." And that's what HCAM is all about, is making sure the community knows about the Lions and what they do for the community. It's connecting groups like you, Baypath you made earlier, all the community groups, what they do for the town. And that's why we love having you on there. And we can't get enough of it. I've been a volunteer since I was a kid. As a little kid, my first muscular dystrophy telethon fundraiser thing. It was just, and I was 8 years old. Ever since then, I was always involved in doing some kind of community service project, and I love it. And then when I came to Hopkinton and HCAM was formed, and Jim was nice enough to hire me to come to work, he just says, "You just love connecting community." And that's what our passion is, and that's what it's all about. And that's why we had to bring you on. That's why I was a hound. Sorry if I was really bad hounding you to come on the show on the emails. It was all about showing the community these groups, your group, and what you do for all of us. Because they don't understand. I mean, yeah, I used to go to the bank and, "Oh, there's the Lions Club and there's some mints. Yeah, I'll put 50 cents in and grab a package of mints." It's more than that. The glasses, people don't understand what it means to give vision to other people. Every time I get my new my prescription, my old one goes to the post office in your drop.
Well, you can hound us all you want to come on the show. When I saw your mail, I jumped on that, because one of the things, COVID or not, is like you're saying, how do we get the news out? How do we get the word out about what we're doing, both to find more opportunities to do things, as well as to get more people involved? And the website is certainly a way to do it, but somehow you got to drive people to the website. So it's all of it's tied together. But I know, like I said, when we got the mail from you about, are you interested? We would have made room no matter when you wanted to schedule this, because we think this is a great way to kind of get the word out. And so I really thank all of you at HCAM for letting us do this and giving us the time here.
That's great, Mike, and we really appreciate it. And Bill, known you way too many years through
Yep.
Little League, swimming, and oh my God, how much have we done together, Bill?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, Hopkins is just a wonderful community, community spirit, all the different organizations. It's just great to be a member.
That's when I fell in love with the town when I came to town in 1987, and I joined the fire department and all the volunteering that went on back then. It's like nothing I ever seen before. Town meeting, having the open town meeting like we do. This is an amazing community, and we just have to keep expressing the work that the Lions do for this town, for the community, and for all over. And not just here, but all over. They're all over the place. And we love it that you guys can stay active, and hopefully this will help bring you some more membership and you get some more activities going. And please do feel free to send us emails and anything you want to promote. HCAM will be there for you.
Very good, Mike. I really appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, you've been quiet all night. Any last words for this wonderful group here?
No, I've just been watching, Mike. You're doing a great job. I love the Lions. One of my earliest memories is my father carrying light bulbs up and down the street, selling them with the Lions logo on the side of them. And I would work at the Oktoberfest that we do. And it's a wonderful community. And everybody who's Lion is always so humble. And the connection that they get, I think is really, really valuable. I think you guys are all awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys are great. Gentlemen, thank you again for coming on. Liz Jeffries from Baypath Humane Society, I appreciate you coming on tonight. Jim, thanks for hanging out with me, being my backup guy. I didn't see you that much today.
You're doing a good job, Mike.
Thanks for being there to support me. He knows I hate hosting. I like being behind the scenes. But gentlemen, thank you again. We'll be back on Monday, 2:00 for the next Hopkins Hangout Hour. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon.
Good night.
Good night.